Hi there, it's Nan. What's the smallest painting you've ever seen? Here are some of my tiniest watercolor paintings, all inside this little candy box. Every time I open it, it feels like flipping through a miniature world, and it always makes me want to paint again. I really love playing with tiny formats, and this stamp-like strip is probably my favorite. It's small, it's playful, it almost feels like a tiny movie with 3 little scenes. I cut these myself with a mini die cutting machine. So let's make some paper for today's tiny painting. I'm using some leftover scrap paper and tiny metal cutting dies. This tiny machine always makes me think of a spaghetti maker. It's so handy and really easy to use. Now paper's ready. Let's paint a fresh little watercolor series. I just got back from a weekend of ski in the mountains, and those winter landscapes are still stuck in my head. So today I'm painting 3 tiny snowy scenes, and I'm keeping it super simple with just one color, Prussian blue. Honestly, it's really a relaxing way to paint, especially in a tiny format. I'm not overthinking mixes or choices. I can just focus on the values, the light and shadows. Winter landscapes are actually one of the easiest things to paint in watercolor, because the snow is just the white of the paper. Though the main thing is to protect those white areas from the very beginning and try not to paint over them later. One of the magic things in watercolor is that you can set the painting area with clean water like the sky here. It helps the wash stay soft and controlled even on such a tiny surface. I really love painting mountains, especially in a tiny format. At this size, it's just about putting down a simple shape and adding a bit of light and shadow. With just one color, it becomes even clearer. I'm just working with different values of Prussian blue, light, mid, and dark. That's enough to create depth. If you want to explore watercolor in a simple and fun way, I also made an online watercolor course for beginners with these essentials through tiny projects. Feel free to have a look. A tiny tip for painting small is to simplify everything into shapes. I think in blocks first, like sky, forest, snow before I paint. Then just a few tiny strokes for a distant forest or a little tree line, and that gives you the sense of scale and makes the scene feel much wider. Now I'm switching to my favorite little detail brush. I'll just add a few pine trees in the front. It's a quick little trick for creating depth. It brings instantly the whole landscape forward. This is the moment I enjoy the most in miniatures. everything gets very quiet. I'm just focused on the brush. I can almost hear my breath, even my heartbeat. Now it's almost done, but it feels like something is missing. These little scenes are very still, so I'm going to add a tiny figure skin, just to bring a bit of movement and give it a small story feeling. And here they are, 3 tiny winter scenes, all in one little strip. It's almost like a tiny movie, little stories in each frame. I love how small they are, but they still hold the whole landscape and a bit of my winter memories. If you enjoy this kind of relaxing watercolor moment, check out my online course for beginners to get started. Thank you for watching. Don't forget to like, share, and subscribe to my channel. I'm Nan, a miniature watercolor addict. See you next time.